So, I just did a script reading run through spell check of this. Robotech meets the Transformers Episode 2 Challengers, a Sentinel story. Miniseries teleplay edited by Kal Kat and Plaint Capo, based on stories by Kal Kat, T.L. Aarons, and Stormy. Draft completed 31 October 2022. And at the very end, love it. I wrote love it. So I edited this. This is the darker middle chapter of the Sentinels, our version of the Sentinels. Cobbled together from several Alt Transformers Mush lexicon stories that were rejected but looked good as Transformers meets Robotech, or in this case Robotech meets Transformers stories. So a new generation, a new timeline, a multiverse. It's basically, this three-parter is basically our version of Siege, Netflix Siege. Except this is way cooler. It's Marvel's Avengers level epic thing. Filming it won't look like that, but it'll be fan film. It won't be that level of effects, but it'll be a fan film. It's a love letter to Robotech and Macross and a number of other things. And the Transformer stories that are part of it fit the whole premise of doing the Sterling soap opera thing that's in there. That's part of the T.L. Aarons stuff. And you're getting abducted by the bad guys, and Dana and Aurora getting abducted by the bad guys, and Bowie being a jerk, and because he probably would be as a teenager, and a bunch of other stuff in there. Yeah, and you figure that, like, we have Talomsky, who's this sort of potboiler cop guy, and we have the doppelgangers and all that. Yeah, so we got Streets, who was Streetwise, but now we changed it to Streets. And we've got almost all the characters that we need. Also, yesterday the Leo Convoy, miniature Leo Convoy, being the lion, or somebody. Humans and Robotech people going to, in this one, going to the planet of Hadon 4. So they go to Hadon 4. By going to Hadon 4 during the Sentinels books, establishing that, then they're kind of establishing that something has changed on the planet, so that the Shadow Children are not exactly the same Shadow Children as in the original one. Just like the Invid aren't the same, the Masters aren't the same. To avoid copyright, but also to avoid confusion by having them be some other group. Well, what kind of happened in book 1 is this version of sort of a Robotech reboot. You can consider the other one canon as well. That they go to Tyrol and Phantoma, the Devolvery system in the first one, and then on to this one in the next one. This is supposed to be a machine planet, kind of like the Transformers. So that fits too. And yeah, so they're there, and they go there and they try to set up a colony on the planet, because they're like a colony, like a Borg kind of thing planet. The humans try to set up a colony, and these invading critters try to get rid of them, which makes sense because they're kind of not supposed to be there. They would be the invaders, so that's an interesting twist. An interesting twist on the Shadow Children as well, because you're basically saying, okay, in this multiverse, the Shadow Children are different. They're sort of these cult leader and his doppelgangers and his buddies and stuff, and they're sort of this colony thing, and they're kind of more like literal in the story. Are the Sterlings the Shadow Children, or are they not? They're sort of these hybrid Zentradi people. Are they part of that? Are the other ones part of that? Or what's going on with the whole dynamic of part of the story they never explored in Robotech, really. So a little bit of the books bleeds into this, in that they did kind of explore the hybrid children thing. But this one does it a little bit more differently. Not necessarily better or worse, just different. And yeah, as Cowpoke Sid is like, well, if Max Sterling is like And Max and Dana are like, Max and Miria having lots of kids kind of doesn't make sense. That they'd be very good at it because they're, and they address that in the Japanese version with the geniuses, or their version of it over there, especially in Macross 7, which this story would be during. Well, no, it wouldn't be. It would be 40 years earlier. But it's kind of the same idea. It's like, yeah, they wouldn't be very good as parents because why would they be? They're fighter pilots and they like fighting bad guys, and why would they be good at parenting? So yeah, it's looks it over, and yeah, except for a few little name gaffes here and there, it works, and mainly I put them there, so take them out. Yeah, so it works. It's the darker middle chapter. It does different things. So the energy field that created the Invid and the Masters imprinted on the Transformers on this one planet in the first story, and the Master people were gravitated to the Autobot contingent, and the Invid people gravitated to the Decepticon contingent. That's what's going on. So, sort of to give them sides and factions. That makes sense. Yeah. So it's not Robotech, but it is. And G1 Veritex, right? Used to be. You say, oh, Top Gun. Oh, here. No. Well, we thought of it for. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing because, like, yeah, the Top Gun movies came out in '86, the first one. So it would have been after Robotech. If anything, Top Gun was copying Robotech with Tom Cruise. Yeah, it was a little bit later, so copying it. But yeah, the other way around. Yeah, it was copying Robotech, trying to do the love triangle. Yeah, so this one not so much. Yeah, we have Bretai and Exodor, which are beautiful. We had a messed up ending and everything. But it's all good because it all ends up all right. So I wanted to go over the script and do that. Anyway, so I'm going to go over the script number 3 here. And then let you know what I think. So this is an even quicker review of having gone over Destinies here. A Sentinel story part 3. Even better written than the other two. Final chapter, which includes a T.L. Aaron story, a Kal Kat story, a Raksha story, and a Sheba story. Apparently the teenagers in the story leave at about the mark of about the last, I would say, they go back to Earth at some point to be the Masters. At some point, last third, less than the last third, I would say, in the story. But yeah, that's fine, because then they gotta do the battle for Artera, so that's a very Prime Timinus Cantrell kind of story, rewritten in this version. But it was other people that wrote this one, not him. It's just similar, so that's why we chose those two stories, because they were very similar to that. And the Regis and the Regent have their story, and everything comes to a head. Yeah, so that's pretty much yeah, going over a run through of the this one. Don't want to give away everything, but apparently in this one there's sort of the T.L. Aaron's stories that happened later, sort of simulations and mind games and things, which was kind of the first one. It's not a dream. It's that the bad guys get into the thing and mess with them with psychotropic abilities and powers and stuff. And in their space simulators, that's a theme in it. They have to escape from the doppelgangers again. Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of playing with some mind and space and all that. But it's not a dream. It's not a snow globe. It's not anything like that. It's more like they're doing their thing because various entities are controlling things. You see, the space joy drug and whatever. So yeah, this is a quicker review because I just went through it There's a lot less Kal Kat. It's mostly these other stories. And yeah, the same thing here is like the errors are the Kal Kat ones. The ending seems a little abrupt, but what do you do from there? I mean, really, you have you come to you know, the crew ship has to get home at the end of the trilogy to have them get home. And I know that in the Japanese version of the Robotech trilogy, which was Macross and the others, the Southern Cross and Mesopeta, that they weren't connected originally. They were just written by the same production company, so they weren't connected. So there was no Rick Hunter Expeditionary Force in the third series at all. It was somebody else. It was a Mars section and Jupiter section, and there was no Scott Bernard going to look for Rick Hunter because they just it didn't. So this is sort of behind that. This story would actually, in this chronology, end 7 or 8 years after 2023, in around 2023 in 2031, roughly, in the story. So at the end, which would make it way quicker, and there wouldn't be an invasion because the Transformers were there, and the Masters didn't do as much damage because they were stopped by the Sentinel people, that robots that went ahead. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. That's kind of giving away something, but I don't think it does. I think it's better to explain some of what's going on instead, so that you know where it's going. In this version, it is a reboot of the Trans-Tech story, but the original is still canon, and everything's still canon, and that's my reboot, that's my story. And yeah, so it'll be interesting to see the end. There's a Raksha story in here, which is interesting. Yeah, and yeah, don't know who Stormy is, but there's a Raksha story. Don't know who Sheba is either. But there's some errands, and we took out all of his cussing and stuff. Yeah, so yeah. Anyway, so that's the Destinies, the Sentinel story, the third act. Altogether, these three are a mini-series of episodes. Probably, yeah, they're roughly 160 pages long each, so they're probably, well, it would be 160 minutes if you filmed it like minutes, so it'd be like mini-series, like Netflix. It's not on Netflix, but it would be like Netflix. It'd be like, okay, I'm watching 10 episodes of this or 5 episodes of this, and get to the end and go like, okay, next one's another 5 episodes, 10 episodes of this, and then another 10 episodes. You get to the whole thing and you put it together, and oh, your miniseries, cool. Yeah, so yeah, that's the next thing, and the next thing after that is Chimera Strange New Worlds or Starship Strange New Worlds, and that's it for this right now. I'm going to put these back in the box. Yeah, they look thick, they look daunting, but I'm sure it is completely feasible to at least do episode 1 in 2023. Yes, so. Yeah. Robotech. That meets the Transformers.